All right. So now that you've had time to work on that, so the triangle, square, and the pentagon is what we did last time. So the hexagon has 6 sides. So how'd you have to fold each side?
Got like 4, and then the last strip.
All right, so you had to fold them in sections of 4, right? 15. So what was your surface area? The area. I'm sorry. The area of the sides combined. First column. 375. So if you've noticed right now, what do you notice about all the area of the sides? Yeah, they're all the same, right? So one side was 15 times 4, right? And you had to do it 6 times, right? But then also you had one little extra side left, right? Because there's 25 total. So 360 plus 15 gives you the 375. Okay. So what about the area of the top and the bottom? What was it roughly? I'll help you out with that one. Yeah, these are the tough ones, right? So it's about 43. So if it's 43, top and the bottom, there's 2 of them, right? So 43 times 2 is, who knows? 86. So if I add these 2 together, 375 and 86, we get 461 square units. All right, so with the octagon, just so you know, this is about 46. So 46 times 2 is 92. What about the area of the sides for the octagon? I'll pick on a different group now. Pick on a different group. What about you guys? What did you guys find for the area of the octagon for a side? One side. It's 8-sided figure. What are the dimensions for one side? Area of one side. It's bigger than 3. Anthony. Huh? How'd you get that? Right, it's 15 by 3 as one side, right? And then how many sides does an octagon have? 8, right? So you're going to take in 45 times 8, which is 360, right? But don't you have one side left over? You got one row of 15. And if you add 360 and 15, you get, well, look at that. The area is all the same. Why is the area all the same?
Because you're using the same.
Yeah, you're using the same 15 by 20 rectangle, right? You're just making a different shape. The area never changed, right? Hence is why it doesn't change on here. So what's our total surface area of this one? 375 plus 92 is what? 467 square units. So let's answer the question number 2 then. Look at the table. How do the surface area, okay, of the 5 prisms compare as the number of faces of the prism increase, meaning sides? Right, this is 3-sided figure, right? Who wants to answer that question? What are you noticing? Don't the sides increase as we go to each figure? What do you notice about the surface area? Huh? That increases, right? So, as the number, we're going to use the number sign here. As the number of faces increase, so does the surface area. So the more sides, the larger the surface area will be. So it says describe a strategy for finding the surface area of the prism. Well, when we did that, right, the first thing we had to do was figure out what was the area of one side, right? Once we did the one side, then we had to figure out how many sides we had, right? And in some cases, like this one, the triangle, like the hexagonal and the octagonal, right? We had leftover a section that we had to cover with the area, right? Then we had to kind of find the area, the top and the bottom. And then once we found that, then we just basically added everything together. We took the sum of the areas of all the sides and added to the sum of the area, the top and the bottom of the prism. And that got us our total surface area of the figure, right? That was our strategy. That's what we did over and over and over and over again. All right, let's go to the back side. So how do the volumes of different prisms compare as the number of faces in the prism increase? Well, as the number of sides increase, so does the volume. And think of that as doing the layering idea, right? The more cubes you fit inside, right? As the taller the figure goes, the more cubes you're going to fit, right? Remember we did that in the previous lesson? We kind of bring that back to the forefront. So how could you use another identical sheet of paper? So we cut out another square, right? To make a figure whose volume is greater than the volume of any of the other polygonal prisms in question A. Well, what would we have to do? Because it's the number of sides increased, so did the volume, right? We only went to 8 sides, so what would you have to do to make a figure that would have more volume? Yeah, increase the number of sides, right? So you got to make a figure with more sides. And that'll increase the volume. So by adding more sides to the prism, it almost starts to look like a cylinder, right? Except it's not rounded, right? Because it's going to have flat sides, but it's going to look like a cylinder. And the cylinder would have the max volume. All right, last question here. How would the surface area of that figure compare to the surface areas of the polygonal prism in question A? Well, if we increase the number of sides, what's going to happen to the surface area? Huh? Yeah, so that surface area will have a larger volume, right? Surface area will be larger. If we increase the sides, surface area is going up, volume's going up, everything's going up, right? Sides are going up, volume's going up, surface area going up. Okay. All right, so your summary part, I want you to be able to write down below. Here's your first part of the summary. So, as the number of faces increases, the surface area of the prism increases. Okay? There's the first one right there. Now the second one. To find the surface area of a prism, find the area of each face and then add them together. So you have the sides, top, bottom, right? Depending on what shape the figure is. Right? That's what we spent all our time doing in that table, right? Volume increases as the number of sides increase, right? So does surface area, right? Surface area increases as the number of sides increases. Let you guys catch up here before we move on. Excuse me. And then below that, has everyone got the top one at least? All right, I can at least cover that one up. Okay, and then down here below are formulas for areas of different shapes. So make sure, again, you have those down and you know them. That's important. All right. Now, just give me a second. I will go back. But here is your homework assignment for this little section. So page 36, 3 to 5, and then number 10. So 3, 4, 5, and number 10. All right. And I'm going to pause this thing and shut it off.